see that? It's flowing really good today. That was the first tap. I have different types of styles on spiles on the tree. I do kind of prefer these other ones. They do less damage to the tree. I haven't been able to find them, so I have some metal ones. I already emptied this bucket, but we're going to take this one right here. Carefully trying to do this one-handed without spilling everything. Yeah, I've kind of improvised here. I've got some lids I've taped on here to kind of keep snow off. Frost and some of the dirt. It doesn't keep all of it out. I'm going to be filtering this later. But look at all that sap. That's just from basically today. I'll pour that in here. I have a collection jug. I'll keep this in a cool area until I'm ready to boil it down. I have a very large container that I boil down. It takes about 8 to 12 hours depending on if there's snow or frost in it, and also the sugar content. So I'll just put this right back up here. You see that it's flowing pretty good. And let's see. Oh, I zip tied that one. We had some strong wind, and I wanted to secure these other couple. So what I've done is I've drilled in here, sometimes on the southern edge of the tree. You can see it's flowing right now. You'll get a lot more drier bark, and it might take a little longer to get through. Maple's very hard, so it can take a little while to get through. But I used, it was about a 3/8 inch drill bit here, and I just kind of, until it started to get soft, I waited, and there it is. It's starting to flow already. Did you see that? You can probably see it on my hand. See that? I'll attach my bucket right now. You hammer these vials in, and it's flowing. I'm out here at night, getting the last bit of the maple syrup on the trees. The buckets have been just filling crazy. Like the back one just took like a day, and they're all the way at the top. So this is what I'm looking at here. This side flows a little more, although I don't like these metal ones. I don't know if you see. I've had more problems with them flowing like this and dripping everywhere. The plastic ones, oh wow, this one's pretty full too. I was gonna say don't do that so much, but look at that, I think it has. And what I do is I straighten all that bark and stuff out. I don't have a lid for these. Wow, I think I did collect earlier here, but it looks like it's filling up. No, I think I just got this one. I'm gonna empty all of these. I did purchase a larger container that I can fill so that I can collect it and boil it when it's convenient. It's still cool at night, so I can keep them outside at night. But I'm gonna go ahead and fill it up. This here is my maple sap straining system. I've heard some people use cheesecloth. I've actually found, buy a brand new pair of pantyhose. Tie a knot at the bottom. I've got a few knots because there was a hole in here. So I've had to work my way up. I don't know how there got to be a hole in there. And you definitely have to pull it through. Like you run your knot through, and then I just loop it over a funnel and pour it in. And here's this big collection jug. I actually need a couple of these because there's so much sap. I can't keep up with it. And I'm heading down to Meijer. What I do is I get these big water jugs from Meijer just so that I can save these. And sometimes I buy the other ones, the 1 gallons that are empty, but this is like one of my favorite collection things, and that way I don't have a bunch of jugs all over the place. I have finished pouring that jug there, and as you can see, look at all that debris that's caught. This is what is tree bark or bits and stuff. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go out and collect more sap. All of my buckets, it's like going crazy with sap out there, and I can't keep up with it. So I'm going to collect as much as I can and even kind of top this off. Also, I believe these are like cafe style canning jars. These are called flute jars by Ball. They have the lids. I like them because they have, it's a little easier to pour when you see how they're kind of concave at the top, a little tapered at the top. I think it's easier to pour syrup when you have that little bit there. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna run down and get more of these because if I do, let's see, when I boiled down this big old thing, we had that much, a thing and a half, and all the buckets are full out there again. all my sap buckets. I gotta empty those tonight. Run down, get another container here, because I'm not sure I want to be boiling this out. What I'll do is I'll put it outside. The nights are cool and it stays cool out there, and then boil it during the day. And it's very important to watch it. It can catch on fire if you forget it. So I have a bunch of timers going, both my stovetop timer, my cell phone timer, all kinds of reminders going on here. But I've got some work to do. And that is what a big gallon, or a big, that's not a gallon, I forgot how many gallons that is. This is all the bark that came out of the buckets. There are about 7 buckets, 8 buckets out there collecting sap. So I'm gonna go out right now and finish collecting it. The moon's out. It's a beautiful evening. We had a beautiful day. It topped out, I believe, at 65 degrees, and I've been outside working today. It's been lovely, and I hope you've had a chance to get outside too after work. But let me get some more sap collected. Oops. It always helps to have a partner. Whoops, we're getting way too much. The idea is to let it strain through at a good rate. And I don't want to fill up my bowl, because that we're not dealing with two similar sizes, and we're about done down there. We're gonna let that kind of strain in there. As you can see, it's coming out the bottom. Sometimes it helps to pull this a little bit. Get a little more surface area. And that's completely. What's this noise you say? Boiling down sap from maple syrup. And this is our very first batch. This is what I got from this size pot. This has been boiling the same length of time, and you know, I'm going to be up a bit tonight. I don't have the luxury of often being able to go outside and start a fire and have pans and all to do this. And I've been working today. Grace and I finished clearing out the garage, and we were quite a bit on deadline to get everything finished by 4 p.m. to get the trailer back to the U-Haul center. And afterwards, there were some chores I needed to get done, you know, and securing everything before the big windstorm tonight. But we got a huge container of sap that I've been collecting. It's been cold, so I've been letting it actually sit outside, and in the buckets, it was actually still kind of frozen, many of the buckets, so temperatures were great for that. There's about another half gallon, about 2.5 more gallons, 3 gallons outside sitting. I didn't have room to boil. When it's warm like this, the sap flows really good, so I expect a lot of good flow tonight. This pot is very close to being finished. It's still quite watery. You can see the consistency change. Even when you go like this, you can see it's starting to thicken. And the color is darkening. This will boil down probably again about half of what it is, and then be poured into canning jars. I'll show you the difference. This is fresh sap that I just put in here. I have this on high heat. We're gonna boil this down. This will make a little teeny bit of maple syrup, but I'll probably add more to this pot as it boils down and just kind of condense it. This is actually a full one, plus I dropped it down to about here and added more sap because I had a huge bowl of it. It's been boiling pretty much all night. I turn the heat down. You know, I don't like to leave it at room temp for too long, you know, for health safety concerns, so I do turn the heat down and then I crank it back up. But you know, all this, you see all this moisture evaporating. Usually I have the fan on, but you probably can't hear me too well if I have the fan on. So, and as you can see, it gets this kind of foamy stuff. Maybe it's cellulose or something from the tree sap. I don't know what it is really. And I do take a cloth, I wipe this side down, so when I pour, I don't have all this resin-y, whitish, flaky stuff inside my jars. Now there is, you know, this is home table maple syrup. It's not going to be exactly like, you know, the store maple syrup. They have different filtration processes, and even so, a lot of them collect them in bags so that you don't get all the bark and debris that you normally get, you know. So, it's looking good. We're very close to being done. I can tell just by pushing the spatula that it's thickening. There's a resistance when I'm doing that. It's much harder to force it through. I'm going to get a spoon to see if we're ready. It should be just about done. Alright, let's take a look here. It's close. Not quite there yet. What I'm looking for is sheeting, some thickening when I pour this, and I'm seeing a little bit of it. This is, I'll show you in comparison, fresh sap and how that pours. When you see this foaming, that means it's very close to being done. It can burn or sugar if you let it go much further beyond this point. So I'm going to turn off the heat. We're going to let this foam down a bit. Let's see if we can take this, kind of break it up. There we go. We're just going to set. Look how quickly that went down. Now, when I take my spoon, look at the difference. If I go much further than this, I will guarantee you this will be, like, even though it's not sheeting like, you know, really, really super thick maple syrup, it is like the kind you get in the store. You're not going for that type of texture. This is a very different type. You can actually feel the drag with your spoon. You can feel it when it's thickening. You can almost see it drip slowly. It's not going to be the fake maple syrup in the store. It's going to be a runnier. But you can see it's very thick right now compared to what it was. And it's ready. I don't want this to turn into butterscotch. I don't want this to turn into maple sugar, which it will. It will turn into a clump of sugar if I boil it down any further. We're going to put it in the jars. Another way I can tell, does it stick to the sides? Yes, you know. That's a good batch. Tastes really good. That big stock pot made this canning jar full of maple syrup. There is no snow in it. There was no rain in this batch. It hasn't rained, and we've had buckets on the other ones, or excuse me, lids on our buckets. I'm gonna let it cool down a bit, and then I will put the lid on it. But look at that beautiful color. I will be washing out that other pot that it was in, and I have more sap waiting on the deck. I want to get it out of the sun. It's supposed to heat up to 70 degrees today, high 60s, 70s, so I don't want that sitting out there. But I have another little pot going, so yes, I'm going to wash this out, give it a good scrub, fill it up, and keep going. We'll have this fan on here practically all day. It'll start to get very humid in the house, so see you later.